Welcome to the Data Kitchen, where we regularly feature the best data chefs and share their recipes on how to master data analytics, information technology, artificial intelligence, and many other ingredients that make a better world around us. My name is Ota Novotný, and I will be guiding you through today's podcast. And let me introduce my guest, Alex Ojala. Alex, nice to see you.
Very nice to be here, Ota.
Yeah. Alex is a AI, data science, and blockchain expert, co-founder and founder of so many companies, if I remember it right, and CEO of the emerging tech venture studio Predly, faculty member and AI director at UC Berkeley, and former chief data scientist and research director also at UC Berkeley. We have known each other and met on many occasions for many years. You have been the inspiration to me on what you are doing at UC Berkeley, and many of your ideas we are applying now at the Prague University of Economics, and we both are inspired by UC Berkeley. So let's start here. So, how did you get to UC Berkeley?
So the way that I got to Berkeley the first time was that for my Master of Science in Engineering Physics, then I wanted to get into a program that was called Technology Management. That program, unfortunately, Lund University froze the year that I wanted to enter it. So then I wrote a quick email to one of the professors who was running that. Her name is Charlotta. And I told her that it was very unfortunate that they were closing down the program, that they weren't getting funding, because basically, this is a little bit controversial, but other departments were jealous of them getting too much funding for this program. But then Charlotta replied to me and she said, I know a better thing that you can do if you like entrepreneurship. And she said, I can recommend you to enter the Berkeley Method of Entrepreneurship program that she had been part of publishing research for. So then in August of 2014, I went to UC Berkeley for 3 weeks. I met with Professor Alexander, Professor Ken Singer, faculty member Gigi Wong, etc., etc. And I fell in love with the academic atmosphere. Then Lund University had an exchange year that you could get. So I applied for that for the last year of my master's. I got in, and then I wrote my master thesis together with Alexander. And that later on became a company. I stayed in Berkeley and in the Silicon Valley region for many years. But that's how I got there the first time, was sort of this
Excellent.
1 week experience with the Berkeley Method of Entrepreneurship.
Yeah, it starts like that for everyone. So.
Yes, it's a good entry point.
When you was a child, have you envisioned that you will be academic? What were your thoughts? What will you be doing?
A couple of things that I had as a kid. One was that I had a love for mathematics from ever since I can remember. It sort of became a part of my identity that I both liked counting, doing arithmetic, calculus, all of these things from early ages. And that was something that I wanted to keep up. So I could almost I became very ambitious when I felt that my peers or other students was at the same level. I remember when I was maybe 7 years old that I fell asleep with a math book on my pillow because I was counting late into the night. And if we only take Berkeley as an example, then I was 15 years old when I saw a documentary called Berkeley in the 60s. And it was about the political movement, the hippies in the region. And I promised myself that I would go there one day. I didn't know that I was going to be there for a long time. But it set a North Star for me, and somehow I ended up there. But a love for mathematics and also computers from a very early age has been important for me in order to pursue the things I've done in academia. Mm-hmm. And I mean, learning is the best thing that you can do in life. So academia is a good playground for it if you want.
Yeah, right. I definitely agree with that. And tell me, what makes UC Berkeley different from Lund and from other schools you have been through? By the way, are the students different, or what's different there?
A lot of things are different. So the main thing that I picked up when I came there the first time was that the mindset was different. At Berkeley, there was, in Sweden, we have something at least that is called a Jante law, that everyone should sort of regress to the mean. No one should stand out, no matter if you're really good or really bad at something. Everyone should be at the same level. Otherwise, it's something that is wrong. At Berkeley, then, and in the whole like Silicon Valley region, why the world keeps on talking about Silicon Valley, I think they have done a really good thing in the way that it's structured as a meritocracy. So if you're really good at something, no matter if you're 14 years old or if you're 85 years old, you will get the center stage and you can talk about the topic, even if you don't have any degrees or any classifications before. And to me, only to get to an environment and an ecosystem where everyone had a mindset that, okay, I can change the world and I can be part of a group that can change the world, no matter if it's in academia or if it's with a company or if it's with research. People truly displayed that and it became contentious. So I felt the same all of a sudden. And that was not a mindset that I picked up that strongly in any other setting or atmosphere in the world.
And what about the students? Are they different or are they the same as in comparison to Europe?
I think they are. I mean, every young person is similar, right? But it's about the environment that you're in. And they're also picking up this mindset that they can pursue things and be very ambitious and maybe go even beyond what you think when you're 18, 19. So many of those students they will have it ingrained that they can start a company that becomes the largest company on the planet if they want to, if they're really good at the technology. And I don't think that happens as much in any other places in the world. And the students generally, I mean, in Berkeley, a lot of students want to go there. And then you have some sort of filtering mechanism that they get really good students.
Yeah, so there is a very small percentage of these who are admitted.
Yes, and then people are skillful in the topic areas, maybe that they study, etc. So, yeah.
So this is it. And, but you are still located in Europe.
Yes.
You have a farm in Sweden.
Yes.
And just from Europe, you are connecting all around the world. And now it's time to compare. You know, I understand Berkeley, it's easy there to partner with industry, connect teaching with practice, getting industrial and or individual donations and funding. And how do you see Europe from that perspective?
I see that the ecosystem here is emerging and that we're trying. I mean, I've met a lot of people who have been inspired by the American model and what they do really well when it comes to the bridges between academia and industry. In the US that I've seen, it is that it's a strong connection, that they are not different sort of species or environments that doesn't have a bridge between them. And now in Europe, no matter if it's Lund, if it's here, or if it's in Paris, Berlin, we're trying to get industry closer to academia and academia closer to industry. And also to promote, for example, entrepreneurship to students who are technical. And when I studied a decade and a half back or even more, I didn't feel that was the case. Then it was more, okay, these are the skills that you should know, or these are the courses that you should go through, and then you graduate, and then maybe you get useful skills at your job that you entered the first time. But now we're trying to bring that process earlier on. But they are definitely ahead in the US. They've done this for a long time in different places, and it's working quite well.
Yeah, and you can see it. You can see there is a strong history in everything. So what we are trying to do at UC Berkeley, they have been doing 100 years before. So yeah, we cannot compare it one by one, but just the progress. And you do a great job in connecting hard skills of mathematics, statistics, data analytics, and business, both in teaching and in your entrepreneurial projects. But there are still very few people like that. Can we teach them or it has to be inside of someone?
I definitely think it's something that is teachable. And one thing that I realized when I also came to Berkeley, if you want, it is that the world is changing now very rapidly. So we have exponential progress when it comes to technological developments and how quickly the frontier is changing with how technology works. That also means that a lot of knowledge quickly becomes dated and that new fields emerges, no matter if it's, let's say, smart contract programming for blockchains, or if it's large language models in AI and the whole tech stack that relates to these, like GPT-4 models, etc. Since everything is shifting around so quickly, in order to become almost a global expert, the thing that you need to do is to dedicate time on the area that is the relevant area right now. And it's possible for anyone to get up to speed. And most people today, they will be in their habits. They will look at whatever they have worked on for 5 years. They want to continue with that for year 6 and year 7. But if you're a person who can be agile and adaptive to changes, it's very possible for you to contribute with a lot of value in how the world is changing. And that was something that I picked up when I went to Berkeley, because I had a huge interest in applied mathematics, mathematical statistics, and all of a sudden data science, machine learning, and deep learning became very popular topics. And if I studied very, very hard, then I could get very good at it, and even better than most people, because they didn't dedicate the time to the topic area. And I think that's a learning that a lot of people can sort of have in order to stay ahead now when the world is changing faster than ever.
Yeah. And my experience because I am teaching the data scientists and the data people, is that usually they like to tend to sit together with their models and to polish them and doing the perfect mathematical or machine learning job, but they are not so much interested about selling themselves into the world. Do you have the same experience, or is it changing?
Yeah, but also if we're gonna stick to sort of the US and America, only from a European perspective, then most Americans are really good at selling themselves or talking about themselves, boasting about what they're doing, etc. It can be taken to an extreme that might be counterproductive even. But most of them, they know how to present what they're doing, putting that into a perspective that is exciting. And that's definitely something that European culture can learn from to some extent. And also only to be able to communicate the value of what you're doing if you're working on something technical. Of course, that's important in a business setting. Because if you can communicate that to management or to the board, the leadership of a company, then you will get buy-in from those stakeholders. That is very important if you want to have any type of project sponsored. And if you're working on an entrepreneurial endeavor and you're creating a company, then you want talented people to join your journey. Then you need to be able to pitch and talk about it. And you might need investors to support it with resources so that you can hire those talented people. So communication is key. And it's not only about creating the best solution.
Yeah, you're right. We are trying to push our students just to get more soft skills of that area, to learn how to negotiate and these things. But I have to say it's pretty tough. They are rather reluctant to learn that because they would like to stick in their work. But these ones who just open themselves and try that, they are very successful because the combination of the business and the mathematical skills, it's still not usual. And therefore, they could be competing with the best people all around the world. You already tackled the modern technology and exponential development and AI. And I like to see or to hear your opinion on the future of the education. Mm-hmm. And let's divide it in 2 categories. First, if we can start, what you see in 5 years.
Yeah.
What will change, whether universities will be disrupted, or what's your opinion or position on that, knowing the technology?
So I would say that 5 years is very hard to guess what the world is going to look like. If I was going to place a bet right now, then
it's betting. It's betting.
Yeah, then I think that people are going to have some sort of chip that is non-invasive, that will help us think, translate things, know subject matters, etc. If we take it maybe 2 years forward, because it's changing quite rapidly right now. Only if I look at how I myself tackle new topic areas when I want to learn something, then I have conversations with ChatGPT or Perplexity as an answering engine. And then I can find the specific answers for the questions I will have. I can go in and ask it to have an output that is in 3 sentences and have 8 bullet points, and it's very much custom to what I need. And that's only going to get better and better. I think that we will have AIs that can be personal tutors very, very soon. They already work in that way today, but they're going to get a lot better. Because of this, it will change the nature of education that we have in society. Because it's very much for 1,000 years or even more been that we have a teacher who is supposed to be the subject area expert, who is supposed to have all of the knowledge and transfer that to the student in an exchange. Instead, the student should interact with the materials and the knowledge that they want to learn, specifically at the level that they're at, so that there are no gaps. And then the teacher can be a facilitator, because only interacting with a screen or an AI voice that says something to you, I don't think that contains all of the elements needed in order for learning. I mean, I learn a lot by actually writing by hand still. That's retention for me when it comes to memory. So maybe there are more students like that who need that. Only having a discussion with you, I've learned many things. And if I didn't have the discussion with you, then and instead with ChatGPT, I don't think retention would be as good.
Yeah, you are right. We still have to understand teachers also, I call it role models. Yeah. And especially in the earlier education, I think they will be indispensable.
Oh, absolutely. Then it's a lot more than only conveying the knowledge, but it's learning about how to being a human. And we have different modalities. I mean, you can read text, you can see images, you can look at a video, or you can interact with body language. And
how do you envision the future of, let's say, structured 2-3 years long university programs?
I think they are way too rigid, and it's an obsolete model. So only myself, I would have hoped that or if I could redo it, my academic or educational journey would be a lot different. I would have done a lot more mathematics and computer science and programming at an early age, and then picking up the other topic areas that I found valuable and sort of maybe more difficult than those areas, but so that I would have a fundament. But today, it's way too linear. I think that people are non-linear, people are unique. And now we have the tools and technologies to custom make education. Because a 3 or 4 year model for a bachelor's degree or an undergraduate degree, I mean, that's it doesn't fit everyone perfectly, to say the least.
I'm always telling we are moving in a speed of life when we are able to open and accredit the program in 2 years.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's really speed of light in all these processes which are put on the national level and the university level and so and so. But we'll have to change. We'll have to change and think how to change in a month's sprints or something like that. And it will be, I think it will be a challenge. But if we can move a bit even further on, so it means in 10 years, 20 years or something, when we will have the first fully AI educated generation.
Yeah.
What will be the role of the universities and perhaps how the world will look like? Now we will be guessing. I know. What's your opinion?
It's almost science fiction scenarios at that time scale now, because I've done these types of guesses before, and I've always underestimated technological progress. So 10 to 20 years when people have been educated by AI, I think that we will have a different view on knowledge, education, research, all of the things related to education or academia, schooling. Just like we have a different view on how information travels today. It's very easy for me to contact you in real time or anyone else in the world through the internet. That was not the case 20, 30 years back. Then you would write letters or maybe do a phone call if that worked. And we will see a similar change when it comes to knowledge. Maybe everyone has real-time knowledge about everything and can look everything up when they need to speak every language, have every skill. And it's going to be different to be human, I think. Because it's inevitable that we're going to get there, that everyone would sort of know everything at all times and make perfect decisions from what an AI can help us do.
Yeah.
And then maybe academia can teach us other things about what it is to be human from a soulful perspective.
Yeah, this was my question. What will be the skills and knowledge we'll be teaching in these 20 years? Yeah.
Feeling emotions, enjoying nature, forming human connection. Maybe those are the important things that AI will struggle to help us with.
Yeah. And what about applied mathematics? Will be still there?
Everyone will know everything about it.
And everyone will be an expert.
If they want to.
Yeah, but
if they want that human experience.
It's also about changing the way how you think, and it's different when someone will tell you, you should calculate it like that, and it's different to the way when you should find it out.
Yeah, and also how you learn it yourself and what's good for you as a unique human being in the way that you form a relationship with a topic area and all of that. But it's going to be different, very, very different from what it is today.
Yeah, and I think we are counting it not in hundreds of years, but in a real single years, and the development is tremendous. What are your career plans, and what are you looking forward in the near future?
I want to be as close as possible to the topic area of artificial intelligence. So that can entail many things. It can be working with students on the topic areas. It can be to work on it professionally through the consultancy that I'm running. It can be through investments in companies and similar things. But I really want to be close to this technology, understand how it's changing the world, and try to be a force of good. Because every powerful technology is a double-edged sword, and it can be used for good and bad things. And I think that it's important for many, many people to try to deploy this in the best way for the world.
Have you been also thinking how to apply all that technology in your farm?
Yes, of course. But when I'm at the farm, so I have an apartment in Stockholm, I live and work in Stockholm, but we also have a summer house in southern Sweden that is a farm. And when I get there, it's almost like I at least want to try to disconnect, work more with my body and be physical and not be as connected as I am otherwise, because that can be very tranquil.
Yeah, so it means you will keep that place disconnected as a part of
I still have an internet access and computer and blah, 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 Internet of Things, sensors, etc. But I'm not as connected as I am in Stockholm. I have more nature around me. I need to cut the grass. And
I think it will be even more important than nowadays just to disconnect and just enjoy the life.
Yeah.
Otherwise, all the digital stuff will just overwhelm the people, and they will get into the mental problems and all these things. So, and as we are in the data kitchen, so my last question couldn't be different from the question, what do you like to cook? Or eat?
Yeah, I would like to both cook and eat. Is it possible?
Yeah, it is. And what is it? What's your favorite taste?
I love ramen. So the last time I did anything fancy in the kitchen was that I cooked a vegan ramen for my family. And now if my wife ever listens to this, she's going to laugh, because I seldomly take the time to actually cook something nice. But when I do, I love the experience.
Yeah, I can feel it from the air that you like the ramen and that you like the cooking in that way. So it's excellent. By the way, did I recommend you the good ramen place in Prague?
No.
I will do when we will finish. So, Alex,
Wonderful. Looking forward to it.
thank you very much for taking part in this podcast. It was a pleasure as always. And I am looking for our future cooperation and for our future meeting. Thank you very much for your time.
My pleasure, Otto, and thank you for having me here in Prague.